Coach Steph here. Today we're going to be talking about supplements. So in the world of supplements, things can get very overwhelming and very confusing fast. There are so many things out there and marketing to us in all different directions. So when trying to figure out what supplements you should start taking, the very first step is to look at what you're currently doing and eating and identify where the holes are, because supplements are something that complete or enhance something else when added to it, not necessarily a substitute, not a replacement. They should be filling in holes. So how we do that is trying to enhance our current food intake first, and then if there's any holes or gaps, we're gonna use supplements to fill them. So what I want you to do is take a look at your day. How much protein, fats, and veggies are you getting every day? If you don't feel like you're getting enough, the first step would be dialing up your plate method. Try adding more veggies or maybe even cooking with healthy fats. If you still feel like there are gaps, that's where supplements come in. So let's always start with food, and then we'd add fish oil, then protein, and then start working on performance enhancers. So we'll dive deeper into those in just a minute. But there are a few things you should know. Most of the benefits that you get from supplements can actually be achieved through whole foods. And fun fact, supplements have supplement facts first nutrition facts. So instead of having proteins, carbs, and fats and sugars on the back label, they have supplement facts. We're just a little bit different, which makes it a little bit harder for us as a consumer to know what we're getting and what we need. The other thing is they're not regulated by the FDA. So because they're not regulated, oftentimes we base our trust off of brand loyalty or marketing when shopping for supplements. So when you're looking for a supplement for you, make sure you look at the ingredient list versus the marketing claims to make sure that there is a short list of ingredients that you can hopefully pronounce or understand. So, as far as supplements go, there are a few common supplement categories. This doesn't even touch the surface of how many supplements and categories there are out there, but these are the ones that we're going to cover today and the most common. So you have general health and wellness, recovery as it relates to your training and performance, sports performance to enhance performance, and then other things like hormones and sleep and things like that. So first, let's dive into the general health and wellness. Some of the more common supplements that you'll see in a general health and wellness supplement are things like fish oil, multivitamins, green supplements, and probiotics. Out of this list, the fish oil is definitely the most beneficial for most people, and we'll dive deeper into that one and its benefits next. As for the others, when we go back to the idea that supplements are for supplementing or filling in the gaps in our diet, multivitamins are what I like to call a blanket supplement. They have so many ingredients, some of which you may need and others you probably already get through your diet. So maybe hold off on the blanket and try to find the holes and repair those first. One of those holes may be your veggies. Maybe you don't like veggies or you have a hard time getting them into your diet. Either way, if you're not getting veggies on your plate multiple meals a day, a green supplement could be a really good option for you. And then probiotics, if you're someone who deals with food intolerances or sensitive stomach, probiotics help promote a healthy digestive tract and promote a healthy immune system. So they might be a really good way to balance out your gut biome. So let's dive into fish oil. To me, this is the king of the health and wellness supplements. So in a world of processed foods, it is very challenging to get an adequate amount and the appropriate amount of omega-3s versus omega-6. So as it relates to most processed foods, they're really high in omega-6 and not as high in omega-3s. So a lot of fish oils are omega-3s in order to help bolster that ratio that we're working on. So some of the benefits are it's going to improve your blood lipid and your healthy fatty acids, but the decreased inflammation is probably where you'll feel the most. So by decreasing your inflammation, it helps your systems process better. So things like your metabolism, your mood, your energy, your cognitive health. So all of our cells are lined in fat. So when we have the appropriate amount, it helps the neurotransmission between cells, which makes us think a little bit faster and on our feet and feel a little bit more with it and less foggy brain. Things to look out for are going to be the ratio of EPA and DHA, which we want you to have approximately a 1 EPA to 5 DHA. And then you'd want to take into consideration the source. So larger fish sources have or may tend to have higher mercury. So just watch out for that when you are choosing your fish oil. And lastly, one of the things that we probably all know if we've taken fish oil before is the taste. You don't have to have a fishy taste, a fishy after burp when you're doing fish oils. Usually the higher quality fish oils, like a krill oil that's made well, doesn't have cause the fishy burps. A lot of times those are the fillers that supplement companies use to fill up their gaps. So the more wholesome you get, usually you can eliminate that the fish burp. All right, moving on, we have recovery. So recovery supplements are intended to support your body in the repair and recovery of your workouts. So protein's a really great option here because oftentimes it incorporates both the aminos and the carbohydrates in one. It doesn't always, but it's something that you have the option to. So we'll dive a little deeper into the benefits of protein next. But when talking about aminos, they're usually, as it relates to performance recovery, in the form of branched chain amino acids, or maybe you've heard of them as BCAAs. They are essential because our bodies can't produce them, and we have to get them from food or, in this case, supplements. They're great because they can improve our athletic performance by preventing fatigue. They can improve our concentration during our workouts and outside. But the big thing is reducing the muscle breakdown during the exercise. So that way you can kind of continue going on. Lastly, the carbohydrate supplement helps replace the muscle glycogen that we lose when we're working out. Glycogen is a form of glucose, and it's the primary source of fuel that our muscles use for energy production. So it's a really critical piece of performance, and when we do a high intensity or challenging or long duration workout, we're depleting our stores of glycogen or sugar. And so having some sort of carbohydrate supplement immediately post-workout helps replenish that store. So let's dive into some proteins. So these are the 4 most common categories of protein. There are a lot more out there, but whey is definitely the most common. So it's derived from dairy, and there's a few different options. There's a concentrate, isolate, hydroslate, but the biggest thing with whey is that it's fast absorbing. So this is something that you would want to take post-workout. The way I like to think about it is, say this is an analogy where when you're really hot, the pores on your face are nice and big. So let's imagine that our muscles have pores. They don't really. But so after our workout, our muscle pores are nice and big. So after a workout, we want to use the protein to efficiently and quickly jam-pack those pores with the repair qualities that we need. And then as they get smaller, so we want the protein to kind of hold us over till our next meal. The casein, on the other hand, is a slower digesting and absorbing protein. So a lot of times casein is taken at night, so that way your body can digest it throughout the evening, and you still have a nice even amount of protein as you wake up. For people like myself who are sensitive to dairy, there are a lot of other options out there. There's plant-based and beef isolate. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for. And there's tons of different options from where they come from peas, brown rice, vegan, you get beef isolate, collagen, and bone broth. So there's tons of things out there. But the most common are whey and casein. And I would say most of the plant and beef isolate are more of the faster absorbing as well. So benefits of protein are muscle building. So as our muscles break down during a workout, and when I say break down, that's not a bad thing. We actually have micro tears in our muscles as we work out, and then protein will help rebuild them post-workout. It also helps you recover. So if you're feeling really drained after a workout, some of the ingredients in there, like the BCAAs, can help you recover. They're also super convenient. They're a powder, so you can put them in your water bottle, and all you have to do is add water immediately after. They're also great for people who are struggling to just get protein in their diet. So maybe adding a protein shake in the middle of the day to help up your protein goal is another reason. So things to look out for is the ingredient list. So ideally, we don't want a lot of additives. So much like our food, look at our ingredient list. The smaller, the better, and the more pronounceable or understandable, also the better. Something else to consider is how much you're taking. So a lot of times I'll see people do like the serving says 1 scoop and then they're taking 2 scoops. But you have to remember that our bodies can only handle so much protein at one time. So any extra scoops are just coming out the other side. So try to stick to about 25 to 35 grams. And that's something that your body should be able to digest. Taste. We got to have it taste good. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to take it, and then you're not going to see the benefits. And then as far as choosing which protein types to take, some things that maybe you aren't typically sensitive to dairy regularly, but a whey protein bothers your stomach. So if you have gastric distress, try different types of proteins. There's so many things out there, and some of them taste so good. And just see how you feel. So next up is our sports performance. So each of these are intended to improve your sports performance over time. So pre-workout and most often includes everything below: the creatine, the beta-alanine, and the electrolytes. But you can also take each of those individually. Creatine helps your muscle produce energy during heavy lifting or high intensity exercise. When we say it helps, I mean by maybe a rep or two, maybe a slight increase in load. Where the effects really come into play is the accumulation, is where the magic happens. So getting, say, 1 to 2 extra reps per workout over 365 years is 730 extra reps. So that's how the benefits in the muscle growth and the performance happens, is by allowing us every workout to get an extra rep or two or an extra pound or two on our lifts. And then over time, that stimulus creates the performance enhancing. So beta-alanine has a similar effect, except for it's a vasodilator. So it allows your blood vessels to dilate to allow for more oxygen to pass through, as well as it reduces the lactic acid accumulation in your muscles. So what that means is it could allow you to train for a few extra seconds, maybe get an extra rep or two, or if you're running distance, get a few extra meters. So just like creatine, over time, it has a really big impact. It's also the one that's responsible for the tingles, if you've ever felt that in your pre-workout. Lastly, you have your electrolytes. So electrolytes regulate the nerve and muscle function. They hydrate your body and balance the blood acidity and pressure and help rebuild your damaged tissue. So they are a really great option after long endurance workouts or high intensity workouts. So that way you can they help get your body back to homeostasis from all of the impact that we created during the workout. So supplement recap: when deciding on supplements, always look at your plate first, then fill in the gaps. Because remember, supplements are something that completes or enhances something else when added to it.